Am I live? I know I'm live. I'm kidding. Hey, what's up, people? How's everyone doing? So I need to get those scooters out of this side because it looks kind of weird. But yeah, let me see if I can optimize some things. Okay, weird. All right. Well, hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining me on this new AMA, the first one of 2025. And super excited to be here for just a couple of reasons, right? I mean, we've been making expectations as to what this meant and the announcement. So I'm gonna be super radical and honest about what this means. It means that we take over this year. That's it. There's no more. I'm gonna tell you a little bit as to why I'm saying this, right? For the past couple of years, when we created Brickken, we didn't know what to expect, right? I think it's a founder's fear, kind of like what you're creating, who you're creating, and why you're creating. It's always kind of like in the back of your head: is it right? Am I having the right team? Am I having the right city? Am I having the right clients? The right approach? And what some startups happen to do is they go for certain different verticals, right? In our case, myself and fellow founders, what we decided to go is go for tokenization, something that we strongly believe a couple of years ago, and obviously now we don't believe it. We it's in our blood, and basically what I'm trying to say with this is kind of like we obviously being very low key in the market, just building, just growing, kind of like never trying to do or pair more than we had to. Because sometimes that backfires. Obviously, that's also could be kind of like my lawyer's head that I don't like to. First of all, lie, of course, and I do believe in honesty and transparency and all of these great things that also society sometimes we're missing. But on my end, it's like something that I was probably raised with or just happened to have. So up till now, what we have seen in Brickken is just an honest building. We have been doing an ICO. We obviously struggle with when did we launch. Then we launch. We didn't launch some correctly. That was very hard on everybody in the team because then suddenly you start having doubts. And doubts is nothing but fear against the truth of, hey, did I do it right or not? So that happened. And suddenly we started doing better, right? Because we really work day and night. I mean, I don't know literally the amount of hours collectively we have put together in this team, but it has been beyond thousands and thousands, and how much we have tears have been spared, blood has been spilled, a lot of things happen in the background that sometimes we don't consider in this journey, but it happens to be true. And I'm being humane with you because I've always been transparent with the community because in the end I always treated and respected every single investor because for me as a person that is a CEO, it was very hard for me to not to fail, right? Because not myself, because I can fail. Like I failed a couple of times in my life, big times. Why not? But when people put money and it's hard-earned money and trust, that's something that I was not expecting as much because instead of you have the VCs, but they're institutional. They work with that money or those amounts and they move money. That it's fine, but when you go to the retail market and you tell like people who maybe 50 or 100 euros is a lot, or then you have all who put all their money and they tell you it's like, oh, I'm going all lean. And like that play a little bit of a role in my head. So I was, why I think we wanted to be working harder and faster just because we understood that the commitment made by the community was a lot. Obviously, that takes a toll. So what I'm trying to say, and I was just trying to be super explicative here, is while we were doing all of that in the back, and then making sure that we were never overstepping our boundaries or over promising and under delivering, this year everything changes, right? Last year we accomplished a couple of great milestones. I will say just name a few. Obviously, I will put myself as a lawyer. The biggest for myself as a lawyer is the European sandbox. That's kind of like was as from a legislation point of view to be able to sit down with regulators and explain what is tokenization, what is financial instruments, and I think I mean it's well aware that regulators don't have that know-how that we have, and they understood some things that could happen in blockchain. So when we sat with them and we opened up the technology and our know-how that we have been building, and the blend between technology and the financial instruments and the corporate law and the securities law, then they started understanding more about the ecosystem. So from that, there's gonna be innovations in the legislations. Like, I'm not telling you something that is not gonna happen. Like, we literally helped regulators understand a lot more and maybe fully comprehend what is the growth possibilities of tokenizations, and even why Europe is struggling while other countries are succeeding into understanding the blockchain as a technology is not for all the good things, all the bad things they say, like money laundering and everything. It's like it's pure technology that helps optimization, and it can help in a lot of different ways, and capitalization and how you move capitals across markets and whatnot. So I'm telling you all of this because I think if myself as a lawyer, kind of like the greatest achievement when you're a lawyer is obviously maybe winning the big case, but another one is doctrine. And doctrine is when something happens that the legislators cannot neglect, and they have to take that as a foundation for future legislations. We can create a doctrine, and that is kind of like something that truly, as a lawyer, for me last year means that we are on top. Like, that's it. If we are able to move certain thoughts, and those thoughts start maneuvering and moving into what we want, which is the good. Actually, we don't want to break laws, or we don't want it to be something weird. That is the great accomplishment for a lawyer. So I think that for me is fine. Now, from a technology point of view, biggest milestone was us becoming the tokenization, the official tokenization provider of BNB chain. It was a deal and it took us a lot of months. Obviously, I don't want to know uh, how many tokenization platforms they review. And obviously, they did extensive due diligence. But once they met us, we come from that greatness in legal know-how, and not the legal know-how in marketing, how clients, and why do they use tokenization? What is the angle? Why are they doing that? And we start building know-how with them, and then they understood, and we earned their respect, because even though we're not like the flashiest of RWAs out there, because we know, like, I'm a holder of a couple of projects out there, Ondo and whatnot. I mean, full respect for fellow builders. But then we came in and they said like, oh wow, these guys not only know, they have, and they says their words, and I'll die with that. I'm not lying. They say this is the best organization platform we have seen. So from a technology point of view, we really created something that is not just innovative, because innovation can thrive. You can do a lot of things. But the great innovation is that it's useful, easy to use, and that it does solve a problem. Kind of like that's why we have a product in Brickken, and that's why Brickken is monetizing on a month to month. We're growing like crazy, onboarding clients every single week. We have to onboard new salespeople because they don't have any more spots on the calendar. Like, this is about to boom. So that is the greatest technology milestone, I would say, for 2024. And from another, like, partnerships, even though I'm gonna do a third tier before we go into what it means now, because I have to build up that kind of like journey, right? And obviously, I would say like I would want to say partnering with PricewaterhouseCooper, a big auditor, being part of the Circle Alliance program, securing some clients that you will see soon, multi-million deals. But unlike certain aspects out there who say like, oh yeah, we closed 100 billion tokenization, we have been very respectful of not overstating and under delivering, because we believe that for us to throw a flashy number can be a mistake. And I really want everybody out there, and I'm going to start pushing a lot now this year, because now we have the strength and the position to do so. When other platforms out there are saying, "Oh, we're tokenizing this," it's like, where's your TBL? There's a lot of lies in the market that if we don't clean them, then it's going to backfire. And the backfire is going to affect the whole thing, because right now it's super simple for me to shoot a post and say, like, hey, we closed 1,000 million of tokenization in gold. And where is the proof of that? And if it's in blockchain and transactions are visible, yeah, you can use a CK, you can do a lot of things to hide out the source or where it's going. Show me something. And right now, Brickken does show it. We do have a TBL, 13 million. Is it growing slowly? I think not. In 13 million, we created tokenization. We created over 250. It's a different metric, but transactable on chain. That means that actually you got filled the the monetization capitalization is 13 million. We can prove that, and it can show. So now I really want to, and this is something that I told the whole company, is like this is no longer us understanding the market or knowing where we are, who is the player. It is now about us owning the market because we have, and I think this is gonna come weird because a lot of you know me from a couple of years since I was doing my first AMAs and everything, but now it's about us being the best. And I have no doubt that we have the best legal knowledge. We have the best technology for tokenization of financial instruments. And we are in the best position that we have ever been because the securing of 2.5 million is firepower. It's like we are growing. We had a very profitable year because we're very good in management of treasuries. We have a lot of different sources of income because we come from I think we come from a very uh, extensive knowledge back in our past lives when we were working in different fields that we understood the need to have different sources of income, and that's something that we started doing since day one. And this is for us to grow and accelerate. I mean, people, you invested in us and we had to comply with your investment, right? You trusted in our ICO Brickken, and here we are telling you we did a couple of X's. First one was December 2023. Second one was March 2024. Third one is still ongoing, right? And it's been more consolidated. There's more trust. There's bigger hold. There's more holders. There's more expansion. So I think I believe that I am complying with the trust that you provided, and I feel like the Brickken and the team, we are actually succeeding in being returned. They're giving you that, and now we have other institutionals jumping in, buying shares of the company. We sold 10% of the company that way, and they're like, okay, we trust you because we see your growth, we see your position, and now you have to grow as crazy and capture everything because tokenization is about to boom. Everybody's heating up, and we are not the first tokenizers. There's a couple out there. Again, all respect for my fellow builders. We are like the second generation of tokenization, but we were later, but we are bigger now. And not only that, we are faster, we are leaner, we have all of you as a community. We can do so many things that this money is not gonna go in our pockets. This 2.5 million, it's literally gonna go for everything that we believe in, our growth. Literally, we're about to scale teams. We have 25 members, 26 now, because we already started some hiring, and we're gonna go to 35. All right. So sorry about the whole story, but I think it's important to establish what is the foundation of this race. We took a decision that we could stay how we were, growing at the rate that we felt it was healthy. Uh, we still had the tools to be in the same level, but based on the facts that we were generating so many leads, we were doing securing so many partners, we took the bold decision that we needed more money to grow because the opportunity was there. And we are very thoughtful as the procedures and when do we do everything. I mean, you guys know how long it took us to decide when to list, and it was not because we were slow at executing, it's because you have opportunities that if you take it wrong, then you're done. And that's why when we decided that we should raise and accelerate the growth, is because we can commit to the obligations that are being imposed because nobody gives us money for free. You guys never gave me the money for free. had to give you returns. These businesses don't expect us to have the money for free. They expect that money to grow humongously. So that's part of our growth. So this is close. It's a share purchase. So now they're owners of the company, part owners, obviously, because there's other owners, myself and some fellow founder. And now we're obliged to go as big as we can. This is the journey now. We took this journey. And we are a hybrid mechanism because we have tokens in the market. So you expect us to go to the multi-billion, multi-million market cap. Those guys expect us to become a unicorn. So now there's no option except that we have to be the biggest, fastest growing company in the tokenization vertical. There's no secondaries now. There's no second thoughts. And we earn it. I think we earn it. And we are securing our spot in Europe for tokenization. We are absolutely flooding South America. Nobody's there. And we were like, we could go there. So what people were fighting in some other countries that looked or sounded better, we went and started amassing clients and leads in the whole South America. So this money is not about us pushing that, it's about establishing new demographic areas. We do have Asian leads. We are going to start pushing a lot in there because it's possible. All right. So I can say easily that from a blockchain perspective, we're top notch in Europe. There's bigger companies, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, um, there's no doubt. From a market cap perspective, there are bigger companies. Yes, absolutely. But in our vertical right now, in many, if we were to measure different, uh, let's say, KPIs or key indicators, maybe we're top in a lot. And that's just how we start the year, right? And that's crazy. So now that we are this backed from partners, from the regulators, from money also, we're gonna go and start opening the doors and the evolution to institutions. We have a lot of going in there. We're talking to banks, we're talking to asset managers. Now I'm gonna be a little bit more transparent because I didn't want to understep the boundaries. I didn't want to under deliver, but now I have to over deliver. So now I can tell you that we are talking to some people that is absolutely insane. Owners of the world. Yes, we have conversations with a lot. Why? Because they love our technology. They're seeing why are we able to create what we had when we had less capital than other companies. And sometimes that's a David versus Goliath, right? And you can be huge, but doesn't mean you're going to win. Sometimes the small one, with being smarter, is the most capable of succeeding. And that's what we have proven that we were in a country that is not blockchain. Nobody talks about Spain being blockchain. In Barcelona, everybody just knows a football team, but is there technology and innovation and fintech? They don't know. With a group of, I think now we're 14 nationalities, 25 people. So against all odds, against all like, oh, you guys are not gonna make it, against all that, we keep thriving and thriving and thriving. So people now got tired of saying they're not gonna make it because they don't feel the profile, they're not standard, they're not Harvard, they're not JP Morgans, they're not former. We don't fit that. But what we can fit is that we are capable, we're resilient, we on struggles, we grow, we're together, we're a team. So all of those things maybe are better than what people expect. With that, I'm gonna say that with the partners that also we run from the blockchain samples, the Circle, BNB, Pricewaterhouse, VC, now we have to open doors to a lot of institutions that we are sure that we're gonna be able to tokenize and set up long-term relationships with them because tokenization is not a trend, it's here to stay. We're going to provide the best API integrations. We're going to give them the solutions that they need. White label. I just dropped in the chat our white label capabilities. The same white label we deliver to BNB chain. That's for you to see and then for you to realize just how big this is. All right. So now we grow. We go from 25 to 35. More marketing, more sales, and for me to put you guys into perspective, is this growth or this money is only going to be used for exposure. We have a product right now that is being used and purchased by clients, so it's already validated. We are going to innovate on top, and we are going to hire more tech team because we are even going to do some integrations. There's a lot of ideas here, and especially now we're testing some things with AI agents that is like, wow, we didn't even know the integration of artificial intelligence could be merged so well with real world assets, especially in the days that we come. So we're testing a lot. But I'm going to say that right next year, the most important department or departments is marketing and sales, and that's exposure that can generate us more leads. We can grow faster. The faster we grow, the better the company situates, right? I mean, it's super simple. And now for you, all of you, this is kind of like the big, like what you guys want to listen to. And yes, it's fine, of course. Are you guys gonna list? Yeah, absolutely. Like there's no doubt. And now we can talk with better situation, better terms, because when you do the things that happened today with the PR, everybody moving, we started as my Telegram got crazy. I was like, whoa. And my LinkedIn got flooded. And some messages I was like, oh wow, this is very interesting. What I'm trying to say is yes, guys, we're gonna list. All right, so here's my bet. And this is gonna be the first time that I'm gonna bet myself against you in the public, kind of like that. I said once that we my objective last year was to be above in the top 500 coin market cap, and I think that was the valuation around 100 million in MC. So, guys, I'm not. Uh, this is not only my challenge. I'm forced to. Like, if the money that came back is not happening, that then I have problems. So this year we have to list in the uh, top tiers soon. I'm gonna say sooner than you guys expect. And I just want you to really trust me here in the sense that if I haven't listed, it's because we are timing everything. Trust the process. If you have already trusted in the past, trust us yet. I feel very lucky that we took the bold decision not to. I had a green light on December, and we sat down. We went off for the weekend, and I remember waking up and saying, "No, no, 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 not yet." Started studying again. Started seeing our project. Secondary listings failed massively because we're not in our season. So now I'm telling you as a trader, the BTC dominance, the pulse, today what happened is still part of the truth that we are not there yet. If BTC suddenly dropped to 90, killed a bunch of us, recovered to 94, us thought, oh, we're back in our season, then did the run to 99, started dragging all the liquidity from the us, that's definitely not an out season. And if we secondary list, I take this into consideration, there are lost opportunities because you can only list once. You can stay listed, but the listing factor is about how much exposure is that going to bring you. Because obviously, if we want to reach the levels that we want to reach, we need as many holders, we need as much liquidity into our market because that's how it grows. So there's single doubt that BKN plays a crucial role. And that's why we've never neglected what it is and how it is used and how it is performed in our platform and everything that we have there. Because it's part of who we are. It's in our DNA. I mean, we cannot say Brickken is not anything without this BKN because it's just what makes it Brickken. And with that, it's super crucial that we understand that we would not take a decision just based on a belief. We make decisions based on certain facts, data, analysis, comparisons. We spend, and this is where you guys will not believe me. You have no idea how much I review every single token out there, the secondary listings, and why? Because the information is out there. Like it's free. Now you go wherever you can find everything, right? So there's absolutely zero doubts that we won't get listed. We're in Mexi. For you guys to understand, Mexi just got top 10. Now it's a top 10 exchange. So we're in the top 10. We got lucky. Gate got less. If we would have listed Gate, maybe you guys wouldn't be so happy. But I understand the fact that you say Gate, it's a top one. I understand the FOMO. I'm a trader as well. I do monetize on listings like that. It's fine. Let us make our work, and you have my full commitment. The same way I have not slept for I don't know how long working with my team, and some of my members are absolutely burned because we've been growing very fast this year, but we're excited so we can continue the journey. It's on us. We will definitely list, and definitely that BKN is gonna get priced in. Right now, the value of the company is not priced in the BKN. That I have zero doubts, right? So the growth and everything that we have to do is uh, we have to make sure that the value of the company, of our clients, of our partners, of our exposure, of our team, of our know-how, all of that needs to be priced in the BKN. And that's something that this year needs to happen. It's no longer maybe. Now it's an objective, a responsibility, and an obligation of this company. And that's why I'm telling you have my commitment. I've never overpromised to underdeliver. This is now a fact, right? So hopefully you understand that the 2.5 million puts us in a different level and perspective out there. Uh, we have enough firepower to really build something amazing. We did it with the ICO money, and sometimes with little, we did a lot of things. Now with this fresh inflow, I'm excited. And trust me, I'm not gonna buy a Lambo. Screw that. I am gonna hire the best people capable that can help us build this. We are gonna spend a lot of money on marketing, and every single euro has to be returned times 10, because that's what is kind of like everybody investing in seed round to do at times X, times 10. So every single euro here has to become a times 10. That's a basic mm, fact in startups for shares. All right. So I have a couple of questions here that people wanted to throw me. Please feel free to start dropping in the chat. Um, whoever send me questions, if they can say, hey, here's the question, because literally my Telegram got flooded, so I think I may have lost some of the chat. So okay. Mm, mm, yeah. Okay. So yeah, my Telegram. Whoever send me questions, please say, hey, here it is. Just send me a private message because I can't find the questions. Guys, I'm serious. Please send me a. Okay, somebody send. Okay, thank you. Yeah, amazing. All right. Okay. Yeah. So seed funding is for startups. Yeah. So our token is tradable. Our equity not yet. We still different assets, different asset class. Utility token has nothing to do with a share. So we sold shares, and tokens that utility are still being tradable. So that moves nothing. It's just that now we also get a governance layer, and we need to start complying with the investors directive because we're institutionalizing ourselves. So that's even better for the token, I believe. So token is not affected. Somebody was talking about the white paper and the unlocks. That stays the same. In the end, all of that is true because it's in smart contracts. We cannot fake smart contracts. So, and I really want to commit here. Like, it's not that suddenly we are gonna pump and we're out. No, no, no. This is a long, long game, right? So, hoping that we can see Brickken as a top performing organization. And yes, we do have some great players out there. They're not exactly in our vertical, but we still have to respect them. So, yes, we know who they are, like Biondo, the Centrifuge, or we want to go into real estate and the property. So great products out there who are top 300, 400. Those are the leads as in the RW vertical. But the idea is that before the end of the year, we have to be with them, right? So we sold shares, 10% of the company, a little bit more, 11.75, something like that. And that's how it goes. All right. Uh, there we go. That's your question. Thank you very much. Please, whoever wants to throw me another question, I really will appreciate if you send me a. Okay, yokes. Perfect. Yeah, so this is our seed round. Okay, so the question is, will there be a Series B and seed funding? Yes. The next one is the Series A. Uh, Forecast, it should be done somewhere between the in between today and the next 2 years. It depends on how fast and our growth, then we can make it happen. Kind of like Series A is a momentum. It's about momentum. So we did the seed round. This year we won't. Most likely next year, but it should always be before the 2 years, unless the income of the company itself makes it sustainable that you can delay because you want to amass the most valuation, right? So it's not just about asking money; it's about making smart decision that get the valuation where you want before you die yourself in money and obligations. That's why many startups fail. So next one is a Series A. I can already let you know that I'm strongly believing that I am gonna tokenize part of the company. This is an ongoing conversation that has been happening. We have a great product. Hacken did their tokenization, the utility to equity. They tested something that I actually was thinking about testing. So when they came here, I was like super excited to see how that worked, how the market responded. So I'm a strong believer that part of our next funding will have a retail ingredient on it. All right. At what level or not yet decided, but I'm hoping that if we were able to grow with different types of players, the institutions, the founders, the retail community, I think it's going to be great for the company itself. So yeah, expect a lot of announcements when that comes in, because if somebody wants to be part of this journey, not just at the token level but at the equity level, there's certainly something at play. And right now, this is just more of a thought. But if I'm saying it out loud, it's more of a probable thought than just an imagination, right? Um, Last year you said this year, without a doubt, still. Okay, so the question is: last year your goal was to be in top 500. Yeah, we it was true. We didn't make it. It was uh, this year. I'm committed that obviously it has to happen. And the unlock of July was quite big. A lot of people didn't read the white paper entirely and saw some things, but I think the unlock was 21 million. We survived at 21 million, and like, I have no idea how July was for us. It was absolutely insane, and the nervous levels were so bad because that's a huge unlock. What we didn't expect, I mean, you think about it, is that a lot of those tokens were going to staking. Yeah, our contract got flooded. So a lot of people who opened the unlock and they were able to claim, they went into there. And a lot of people are missing from the claiming purpose. I don't know what happened in their wallets, if they disappeared, they lost the private key, or they haven't heard about that they can do it. It's not on us. We send emails. I mean, they should know. I'm not gonna pursue them for them to claim, because we already pursue them a lot, because I need to close some things that cost me that cost us money to have those gates open. So I'm hoping that they claim soon or not. I'm gonna tell them how to do it against contract, because I cannot sustain that. Is it's money that we can use resources somewhere else. All right. So the next one is February 25th, and we're super happy. We're quite positive that it's going to be a great unlock, and we have some motivational things that we're going to happen at the staking level. So I just hope that you expect news. So the holders right now, I please trust me that you don't have nothing to worry about that. There's a lot to play, and we're working already hard for that unlock to not be priced in our token. And again, going from a 21 to a 4.7, that's a huge difference. All right. Um, Perfect. I have another question here. Okay, so the beacon now, the beacon. I'm gonna not read the question because it's quite long, but it's a good one. It's how does the beacon token go at play with the ecosystem? It's still a payment token, so all our tokenization happens in BKN. We're gonna give more incentives to BKN holders. A lot of people asking us about the launchpad situation. Even though we cannot do the launchpad where you have a holding of BKN to invest. We believe that's a blocker or barrier. We can incentivize the BKN holder get access and whatnot. Unfortunately, from a regularization point of view, we cannot shield our clients or make exposure because then you will have a crowdfunding license or you're a broker as a placement agent because we're dealing with financial instruments and securities is completely different than utility tokens. The idea is that we have some reviews pending with some law firms and also the regulators as to how much can we actually push, right? Before we end up in that area that we are licensed. It's not that I don't like licenses, it's just that if we need a license for certain things, license insecurities and funding, it's secluded to one country. So that it will stop us from growing. So that's why we don't actively disclose our clients. Some of them they don't want, they do it on their own. Other ones we can because we will go into crowdfunding. So we're trying to see what is the gray area. Gray area does not mean illegal. It just means that until someone clarifies that from an institutional point of view, it's still doable. So that's why we're trying to push more as to showcasing our clients, opening opportunities. Big N will play a big factor here, and again, it's just about our ongoing economy. The big aim is to flow from wallet to wallet throughout the journey of our clients and our investors. So right now we're on the preparatory point of view to see if we do a big renovation on that, but do expect some news around it. And yeah, the BKN is paid against yeah. And where does it go? Yeah, so it's a very good question as well. The BKN goes to the staking. We were thinking before to burn it, and that didn't happen because when we did the tokenomics, we didn't have a staking. So now, just if you do a little bit of math, our staking contract has 11 million. So that means on a yearly base, we have to put 1.6. So where does that 1.6 comes? Well, now we're thinking that the tokenization layer and the fees has to go over there because if not, we will swallow our treasury that we don't get to use until 2026. So for the time being, the tokenizations is going through the staking contract. So you guys are enjoying the value there. All right. Next one. Will staking stay active now? Are there plans for changes? Yes, there are plans for changing. Uh, right now, we did something that a lot of people were like, "You guys are insane. Your inflation is gonna go high because we had a perpetual, so in and out." Um, we're studying how many people are, well, I mean super simple that there's dooms and we analyze that and how much per month goes in and goes out, and that way we can start leveraging as to how much inflation we have and whatnot. So we haven't taken a decision yet. So far we're going to maintain it. If we decide to make a change, obviously we'll announce and we'll pre-announce and all of that, correct. But I think right now, perpetual staking is dangerous in the sense that if you go and suddenly go to, I don't know, 4 million stake per year at 15% APY, that's a lot. But right now, we feel confident that the 1.5, since we're using kind of like these recurrencies from the tokenization, some fees, some partners, some what, right now it's sustainable. So for the time being, we're not going to change anything. Does not mean that the staking that we have today stays in forever. All right. Um, I'm only reading Telegram, by the way. I don't know if in Twitter. Let me check in Twitter if they have any questions. All right. So I don't see any more question. I don't know if somebody wants to jump in and tell me on Telegram something. I would really appreciate because I was hoping it to be more of an ama. Like you guys are like, oh, you guys, but just never ask questions. Like, yeah, I'm always happy to chat with all of you. Like, I'm super happy. I mean, uh, ask me something. No. Okay. So, all right. Why don't we do the following? Um, Like, I'm really sorry. Somebody sent me a question to my private Telegram, and and I didn't respond it here. Literally, it got absolutely ridiculous today. I have to clean a lot, but I would say like not all was good. There's a lot of people selling me services now. Of course, you raise money and they're like, "Hey, you can do this, I can do that." And it's like, "Oh my god!" But I believe there's no more questions. So let me just review. All right. Well, team. Um. All right. So I guess this is where I'm just gonna close it off. We thank you very much for everything. I'm here super committed and have no doubt that this year we're absolutely gonna kill it in the RWA sector. We already capture a lot of interest. And the PR that we did today was a play of us capturing more, but mostly of securing our spot and position. And we strongly believe that. And when we have that at hand, then we can play and start moving certain things that we want to move. So making sure that people understand what is tokenization, what is measurable, making the standard, right? Not the technology standard necessarily, but making the standard as to what business should be looking into tokenization. Right now, uh, I don't think it's an ERC 34, 60, whatever standard it is. I'm not talking about that standard. I'm talking about people thinking of tokenization and going to Brickken for it. All right. So appreciate everything. Lastly, question: any more Chairman Cool? Yeah, of course. But it's different. We're using CCIP. When we use CCIP, that question makes no sense. That's why we're in the build program. Chainlink is super excited with us. They've been trusting with us a lot, and we have a lot ongoing process of development with them. And basically, through CCIP, we can be in every chain. So that's happening 100%. Because I hate fragmentation. So for us, actually, it's a pain to be doing in every chain. And just so you guys are aware, when you update your main contract, you have to update all chain. And if you add a provider, that provider needs to be in all the chains or your product doesn't work. So fragmentation, it's a horrible. We don't need 1,000 L1s or L2s. We need just a couple. Like I know which ones I bet on. I have conversations with all of them. All the top ones were in groups because everybody's starting excited about RWAs, but not because they saw the PMB one. They're like, oh wow, look at these guys, the white label they created. It's an insanity. But to answer your question, it's not about how many chains, it's about exposure. Are we going to be in layers or chains that they're going to give us the exposure that we need? The answer is yes. Are we going to deploy? No. Thanks to CCIP from Chainlink, we don't have to, but our whole infrastructure is going to go a rehaul. So we do something that is better than being in all chains. Abstraction. Our technology has to be abstracted at the blockchain level. We're not a blockchain company. We are a tokenization that blockchain is its backend. And on that, we're actually pushing a lot of great things. There's going to be really cool because the idea is that people who use us don't even feel that they're using blockchain. Okay, is the listing before the unlock? Honestly, I don't care about the unlock. The listing has to happen when we see that the market is ready for us. The listing we can support, or people are gonna go for staking. We have a lot of things going there. I'm not worried about that. What I don't want to do is, for example, today, if we would have listed with that BTC drag, it would have been a wasted bullet. And since we're in the one bullet matters, we have to make sure. So instead of focusing on the unlock, focus on the Bitcoin dominance and focus when also stop doing what they do, which is one pull from BTC gets dragged, stabilizes, I'll pump a little, BTC drops, drags all out. That's not all season. And yes, you have my commitment that I got, guys. I got 2.5 million. Like just a perspective. I'm not gonna confirm anything. don't you think part of that money is gonna be just for listing? Okay, I'll say yes, absolutely yes. Of course, it's gonna be some part of it. I'm excited. I want to get list. This is something that I really want you guys to understand that I'm a Brickeneer. I'm a holder. Like I have tokens. I don't use my tokens because they're all blocked for years. But I want the biggest exposure. So the same things that you guys want, I want. Like there's no difference. Like you guys want us listed in the best. I want to be listed in the best. Why? Because it's our project. Like it kind of makes sense, right? So, um, guys, gonna go with part of my team. Gonna go grab some beers, gonna celebrate, obviously with responsibility. But it's been a lot of work today, making sure that everything went smoothly. We got picked in so many tier one media. So obviously we're in Cointelegraph, but there's a lot of other ones that we are getting picked and picked and picked and picked. We're pushing, 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 pushing. So it was a great day. Happy to have shared this AMA with you. Um, Again, thank you very much, and expect great news from us because, like I said before in the chat, this is the year that we take over. There's no other choice. And with that, I wish you a great 2025.